Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program 2. The rocket you see in front of you, or this probe here, is going someplace that we've never gone before and never even talked about going, at least not yet. It is built very similarly to how our geostationary orbit satellite was built, with a couple of modifications. It's got a longer fuel tank here to give it 3,500 meters per second of delta V. I like that. I'm kind of considering maybe adding just a really small tank underneath it just to give it a little bit extra push. I might need just a little bit more. Let's put like a really small tank right here and see if that's going to be enough. That's going to give us the 3,705, which is, yeah, I mean, an extra 200 meters per second I think is enough. So we're going to do that instead. It also has retractable solar panels as well. So the same panels as before, except these ones are retractable, which means we can put them back. That's good. The final thing it has is it's got this little atmospheric reader, the little sniffer. And those two decisions are related because this craft is not just staying in space. It is actually going to tag up into the atmosphere of Jool. Yes. So I noticed that our alignment now, Kerbin's alignment at the moment is pretty good for a transfer to Jool. So I'm going ahead. I'm going to put the standard launch vehicle right here, the same vehicle we've had before. We're gonna put this launch vehicle on here, and then I think we're gonna need to get the fairing sorted out as well. So we'll take this fairing, bring it out, bring it up. That's probably good. Bring it over like that. It's a little bit wide, isn't it? I don't think it needs to be quite so big. Let's maybe bring it down a little bit like this. Here we go. Bring it up like that. That seems pretty good. And then we'll go ahead and close it up on this side like so. Good. All right, so there is our fairing to cover up our payload. And this is going to be our rocket that goes ahead and does this. Now, I'm not sure whether this fairing is going to be in here before this stage is up or not. I don't think it matters, but we can have the fairing be last, I suppose, because this game sometimes ignores the fairing, I'm noticing. So, yeah. Anyway, this is called JoolSat 1, and actually kind of wish I was on the dark side for this, but I guess it's fine because we can always adjust it and everything, but... So in case you're curious about where we are lined up with Jool right now, so this is where Kerbin is, and Jool is right over here. It's this planet right over here, okay? And so what you want to see for this is not exact, but like it's close enough to where we can make this happen. You can kind of get away a little bit with Jool flexibility-wise because there's such a huge sphere of influence for Jool, and there's so much gravity there that you can get it, all right? It's not like Elu where you got to be really precise. It's not like Moho, which is just like impossible. We'll get there eventually, but yeah, no, this is close enough, I think. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the button, get ourselves up there. We're gonna try to preserve the fuel in our swivel just a little bit here. I don't want it to... I don't want to use up too much of it. We're going to slide over just a little bit. Not too much. And like I said, the game sometimes ignores the frickin' fairings. So we got to be extra careful about this thing getting squirrely like it is right now. Oh my God. It is ignoring the fairing right now. I think it's getting all the resistance from the dish on the inside, I think is actually happening. If we start seeing it heat up, then we'll know. Yeah, there it is. So that's what's happening. It's just so stupid. We're just come on. All right, come on, Swivel, you got this. Now the Reliant has more thrust, so we could be using the Reliant instead. But I like the control the Swivel gives me, and it allows me to have a slightly less stable rocket and still get to the destination that I want to be in. So we're going to hold prograde here, and our surface speed is going to keep climbing. This stage needs to get us into space. Doesn't have to be very deep. It just has to get us to space in general, and that's really because, you know, the next stage is a Terrier, and the Terrier is terrible, so inefficient in atmosphere. So we really need that Terrier to be 100% in space. Having all of its power, all of its delta V expended in a vacuum. And so that's what this stage is going to do for us. It's going to get us up there. We're already at 70,000 for our apoapsis. I like that. Let's get ourselves over here. We probably should be like this already. And we really want to see that periapsis be under negative, I guess over negative 500K before we use the next stage. And I think we can actually dial this down. 81 is pretty good. I don't want to get too high. So this stage will burn a little bit in atmosphere. And it pretty much got our PE under negative 501, I guess, or over negative 501. And then we're going to want to get rid of our fairing pretty soon here. I think this is probably an okay time. Yeah, we can do it now. That's fine. So we'll pop that fairing off. Goodbye. I'm not entirely convinced you were helping us anyway. And we'll just give ourselves a little... I need a really little push here, though, just to get underneath it. So let's just a little push so that we'll float underneath that thing. There we go. Just get away from the fairing. I'm too timid. I don't want to crash into it and blow up the whole vessel. All right, there we go. We're gonna burn right on the horizon here until we get rid of this stage. All right, we'll get rid of that, and then let's dial this down a little bit and assess how much we got to go here. So negative 465. I think maybe when we get to 80K, we'll start bumping it up here. 80K should be fine. We can also extend our solar panels now. We're not coming back to atmosphere, or at least not in Kerbin, so might as well get them out there. All right, so I think right about now is a good spot to start burning this out. We got 17 seconds left. Might be just a little late actually here. Let's tip up a little bit. We're just gonna hold it about here, just a little higher. Need to extend our apoapsis just a little bit here. This is what I was afraid of, is to going too slow on this, because then it's inefficient. You got to do it on time, otherwise you end up using extra fuel, and I don't want to do that. But here we are, trying to push that apoapsis up. 6 seconds. It's holding 6 seconds. I like that. 7 seconds, pretty good. We can tip it down just a little bit here. We don't want to build it up. 8 seconds, good. Let's bring it down even more. 7. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we're basically pushing it ahead of us. That is raising it, yes, but it's making it to where we're not falling, and that's pretty important too. I think we can go prograde now. 7 seconds, 6. It's going to tick down, and then we'll start burning on the backside too, but that's okay. I think for as close as we are here, that's probably fine. 6. So we're technically falling now. And we are almost in space. It's just taking a little longer than I thought it would. We're almost in space. There we go, and good. We're in space now. It's pretty important, I think, to get ourselves circularized. However, because we're on the light side, our periapsis is now on the dark side, and that's kind of where we want it to be. We want to be as close as possible down here, because we're going to be burning that way anyway. So the next thing, I think right at periapsis, I'm going to go ahead and make a maneuver node. And in case anyone's curious on the alignment Kerbin needs to have for Joule, this isn't precise, right? This isn't maybe perfect, but this is pretty good, if memory serves me correct. Kind of going on memory here, but pretty confident that's an okay spot for Joule to be, to get a good transfer to Joule. So with 2,700 meters per second left, we're going to push out prograde in this direction, probably about 2K. If I had to guess, I think it's probably close to 2K, maybe 1,900. Come out this way, and it's almost to Joule. So we want to set Joule as the target, and we want this maneuver. Where the hell did it go? God, it's like hidden over everything. Really want a dedicated maneuver tool. It's so important, man. The user experience gets so much better with a dedicated tool, so I don't have to keep clicking that tiny little spot all the time. All right, so this is showing me a Joule encounter, but it's not showing me anything over here. So I'm just going to make a quick timing modification over here. We're going to go about like that. See what that does for us. It's going to kick us out even further. And we're just going to kind of tweak this a little bit, try to bring these 2 points together if possible. It's just not quite enough. It needs to be out more. Yeah, I'm going to need to burn more fuel here. So let's go out even faster like this. And then we can adjust the timing. Let's see about maybe going Maybe out like this even, a little bit further. Nope, it's retrograde, please. Here we go. Bring that in, come on. Okay, we're getting something here. At least that's what I want to see is something, right? So let's see what we've got. It's a little bit far out, right? We can adjust it later. As long as we're getting the encounter, we're good. But we can adjust it later very cheaply as well. So I'm thinking probably we just take this burn. We can line up with this burn, but if I could maybe make a quick adjustment here. If I go prograde, go away. So I want to go a little bit retrograde here. I guess I should say I go prograde less. And then if I pick this up, it's going to be too expensive to do right now. Okay, never mind that. This is fine for now, and we'll make the adjustment on the way. Okay? So this is going to be our burn. It is 2015, which is going to give us 700 meters per second to make adjustments, as well as to get ourselves completely captured and circularized with Joule, which we're going to mostly do as an aero brake. We're mostly going to use Joule's atmosphere, very high up atmosphere, to bring ourselves in and get captured here. Okay, so we're lined up. Let's go ahead and get ourselves to the point. And then once we get this thing on its way, we can then zoom over and look at our Duna craft and stuff and start looking at our guys at Duna. Okay, so this is where things are about to go down, huh? 20 seconds. And it doesn't have to be precise. We can kind of burn whenever we want here, I think. But why not let the timer do it? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we're on our way. And we got a long time to go here. 2 minutes to burn here. I am not going to do this during time acceleration. I find that, with my own testing anyway, I've so far found that using burns with like time acceleration, you want to have a lot of distance between you and whatever body you're around. I'm not having good luck with getting it accurate with playing around with it. I've found that it's okay when you're out, like, you know, Kerbal orbit, you know, in the solar orbit. I found that it's okay out there, but when you're really close to like Kerbin or whatever, it just doesn't seem, for me anyway, doesn't seem to be accurate. It doesn't do quite what I expect it to do. And there's also that risk of, you know, time accelerating too quick and burning just way too much or all of your fuel away. So we're going to hold up on that. Really briefly there, getting an encounter with the moon. That's interesting. It's a pretty long, there's a pretty long duration of time here where that moon is just like coming right along with us, isn't it? Look at that. Pretty squirrely. Whee! Don't worry. We're going to beat the moon. The moon is going to be out of our way soon. Wow, it's still encountering the moon. That's crazy. I mean, the moon is right there. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. It is right there. So we're going to be zooming past it. We want to zoom out really quick and just focus Joule for a second. There's our line. It's encroaching out here. And we're going to start, I think probably hit the button here. 6, 5, 4, bring it down. Boom, stop. All right, I think this is okay. We can adjust it from here. We're gonna adjust it from here. So this gives us the encounter, but like, look how far away it is. Like Joule's gravity, if you're not familiar with the game, Joule's gravity is insanely big. This maybe doesn't seem like it's all that big of a zone, but compared to Kerbin, it's enormous. This planet is way bigger than Kerbin for scale. All right, it's like the Jupiter, all right, proxy, if you will. And then there's many, many moons around it as well. And then in addition to that, way, 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 way out here is its sphere of influence. So it may look like we're not bad, but actually we're over 1 million kilometers away from Joule, and we're still in its sphere of influence. Okay, so what we want to do is speed up time. We're going to zip right past the moon. We're not going to get in its. We're not going to get influenced by it, thankfully. Gonna zip way out here. Ooh, look at that. It's just gone, like right past it like that. That's cool. All right, and when we get to solar orbit, we're good here. Electric depleted. Vessel 12. I have to figure out what vessel that is because as we start zipping through time, we're going to see that message pop up over and over and over again, and it's not going to be great. Okay, so pretty much anywhere we can do this correction. Let's say maybe, I don't know, let's maybe go here with it. That's fine. We want to go back over to Joule. And let's open that back up. Okay, so what we want to do here, since we're that far, we're going to go that side. So everything is kind of opposite land. So to bring this up, I need to go down. So we're going to bring up. We're going to go down. That is very expensive. Much more expensive than I thought it would be. Much more expensive than I thought it would be. Surely there's an easier way to do this. Might be a timing issue as well. I want it to go on this side. Yeah, that is definitely not. It's definitely not coming up quite the way I thought it would. Perhaps if we wait a little bit longer, where is my? Is there an ascending node here? I think maybe if we go by the node, recenter my stuff here. The descending node is over. Where is it? Over here. So maybe if we do it on that instead, it might be a little bit cheaper. Let's see. Where is my Joule? Right here. And we want to open up the maneuver again, hopefully. There we go. And if we... Right, it's a descending node we want to ascend. So bring it up like that. So it has a bigger effect from that point. It's a little cheaper at 276 to get it right in line, which is, like, I guess, a little bit better. And then because we're behind it, we're going to want to come in faster. If we get close enough to Joule, its gravity will really curve us around. So right about here, this is, it seems like it's close, but it's still 13 million meters away. We're going to get right about here, I think. That's 325. It's inclined. We have a pretty good chance of getting whatever we need to get from that. And we can also make additional adjustments from there. That's going to cost us 276. And it's on the descending node, which isn't a long time. It's 47 days away. But I think that's probably the better place to do it. So if we were to zoom to that, there's no way the Dunacraft, this is the Dunacraft. We have to make sure we keep an eye on that too. There's no way that's going to reach Duna in 47 days. So I can go ahead and zoom ahead here. All right, there we go. Vessel's out of communications range. No, it's not. Transmit is idle. I have control. So that's not the case at all. I think you're wrong. We can also just extend this antenna because we can. It's not a big deal, but just to do it. Okay, so it still says 3 hours away. And again, it's such a huge distance that I don't think it matters all that much. But if I was to go, let's say, here. This thing's just going to keep running out of electricity. Probably every time it becomes nighttime, it'll do that. Okay, so again, it doesn't have to be precise because of the distance. So I'm going to focus on this. We're facing the correct direction. And we're just going to start a little burn here. And that will bring to a really, really tiny burn. Do it very slow. And watch as this comes up to the point we're looking to get it to. All right. Moving up, moving up, moving up, moving up. There we go. bring it right in. Let's go ahead and pin that. Now, for some reason, that is... Okay, it's starting to come in. I was going to say it's still really far away. Starting to come in. That's good. From here... Yeah, from here, let's just take that out for a second. So from there, if I was to recenter, is this 27 seconds? Let's bring it out to like about here then. If I was to, again, come over to Joule, give me that. Thank you. If I was to go prograde here, it's probably like less than 1 meter per second too. It's really nothing. Yeah, it's not even one delta V to get to do this. So we're very, very close. And this is also very inclined, which is still okay. It's okay to be inclined like this, but if I wanted to bring it in and be a little bit more equatorial, I could. I think I do want it to do a little bit more. So let's pin this. A little more prograde. Bring that up, and then go just a little bit more prograde. And this burn is so light. It's 4 meters per second. It's nothing to correct this. And we want to get this, I think, around 200,000 meters, right? I think 132. Is 132 the atmosphere on Joule? I actually forget what the atmosphere is, and it'd be important to know that, actually. Maybe you guys can remind me in the comments what it is, and then I can look at it when we do the next video. And well, we don't even need to do this in the next video. We can wait quite a while. This is going to take a while to get there. I'm pretty sure it's not... I don't know if it's 200 meters or not. Let's... 200 kilometers, I mean. Let's go 150. 150 is probably pretty good. It's really high up, and even if it's not atmosphere, we'll have enough delta V at that point to at least get ourselves captured. And then if we at least get captured... We can always burn an apo to bring it in closer and then do the aero capture that way. So it's not a big deal. All right, so this is what we want to do. 2 minutes away. It's an incredibly small amount of delta V. It's a very, very small burn. Let's make sure that we are looking at Joule here. Always keep an eye on your target. Okay. So 18 seconds. And then we're just going to basically... I'm just going to take one hand on X and the other really, really light on Shift. And we'll just see whether or not that does anything. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh! I think I got it. Very, very close to getting it. It is the smallest of... the smallest of changes will be required here. We are definitely going to crash at this point, so the very smallest of changes, we're going to go retrograde, like, we're going to essentially sneeze in that general direction, if I can do so. Achoo. It's very, very difficult. Actually, is there a way in this game to... Yeah, thrust limiter. Let's go down to like 3% here. That would actually be helpful. Because if we don't have... You know, I don't have RCS and everything, so we're just going to use the thrust limiter on the engine. So 3% thrust in a prograde direction, and if I do 1% of 3%, oh my gosh, that's still fast, isn't it? I'm doing 2% of 3%, and that's how I have to manage that. So let's just see how that goes. And we'll just keep hitting X. And 425, achoo. All right, that's a little bit light, or that's a little bit shallow here. We're going 98 kilometers now. And I don't know exactly what the atmosphere is for Joule, but I feel like I want it to be just a tad bit higher than that. Let's do 2... Okay, I'm pretty sure 213 is outside it. So at least this is safe, and if we really want to adjust, we can adjust when we get there. But this is a safe trajectory, and that is done. So we have a safe trajectory now to Joule. Let's go ahead and bring that thrust limit back up so I don't forget. And that's going to be a safe encounter with Joule as we go around, okay? So now we have Duna 1 is, I think, our next objective here. It's going to take a while to get around there. But as far as our missions go, that's kind of, not this one, right here. We kind of only have one primary mission left. And, you know, we can use this when the game does give me missions for Jewel. We'll be able to use it for there. And then anything else it does for Duna, we'll have a crew over there and we can look at that and do that. Okay, so I guess it's time to time accelerate to get our Duna 1 craft to encounter Duna. Yeah. Okay, I don't know what default name 12 is, but whatever it is, I need to turn notifications off for it because that's crazy annoying. Anyway, if you haven't seen this kind of transfer to other places before, this is our craft. This is our target. This is Duna. And wait a minute. Wait. It's very small text. That says Ike. Excuse me? Excuse me? Why does it say... Oh my... What? Wait a minute. It changed on us. Shit. It changed on us? This is not how I set this. Things have moved. And... Wow, we're gonna miss Ike, right? That's 27 kilometers? Really? How did it move? This game lies. Lies have taken place here. I don't know if this is better. The plan was to... Okay, so yes, we get Ike and then Duna. So 2 different bodies all in one go. That is something, but the plan was to aero brake here to slow ourselves down. And I'm not convinced we can now. Because... Well, I mean, clearly we can't because we're not going to be in the atmosphere, but... I mean, it's a really thin atmosphere anyway. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Either way, this is interesting because we're gonna have Kerbals with under 30 kilometers from Ike. We're gonna get high orbit Ike, low orbit Ike, and then we're gonna get high space or high orbit Duna, and not low orbit, but like maybe we can use Ike's gravity. Which side are we coming in on? So it'd be here. Ike would be over here at the time, I guess, right? But it has to be, right? Because we're coming in like this, but we're still here. So I think Ike needs to be over here at the time. And if that's the case, if these 2 lines, right? If these 2 lines are... Oh, no. Ike's going to be here. Ooh. That's not good, though. That's not good. Ike being over here. Because this is out, right? Maybe that's the way in. No, that's definitely the way out. So we're going to pass Ike on the way out? Can we use Ike's gravity to somehow get captured by Duna? I didn't see this ahead of time. It would be much better if we would have saw this ahead of time. How much freaking fuel do I need for this? This is 380. So like this is already into the other stage now. And this doesn't get us captured by Duna at all. Oh, this is not good. Maybe there's a way to... There's no way to adjust this, right? I mean, we have to adjust it now to get orbit of Duna. Man, I don't know about this, bro. I don't know about this. Like, I like the idea of getting Ike, but I don't like the idea of like getting flung into space and not being able to get captured by Duna at all. So we still have a little bit of time to correct this. You know, we're not super out of there yet, but let's assume for a moment. Let's assume for a moment we want to correct this. It's not nearly as efficient as it would have been to do it way early along a time ago, but like, come on now, this wasn't even the plan. So we're currently ahead of Duna. So we're gonna slow ourselves down. we slow down, we can get closer to Duna, but we'll lose Ike. And we want to actually get a prograde. We want prograde anyway. We're on the wrong side of Duna anyway. So we're going to want to be on this side of Duna, like here. Which is where we should have been in the first place. I don't know why it moved us. This is 32 kilometers. Duna's atmosphere, I believe, is 50. And we're coming in real hot, too, so I don't know about 32. Maybe just the 45. I believe we have enough fuel to get captured without using the atmosphere. And I don't know if we have the proper protections to even use an aero brake, to be honest. So if I put us, like, say, 42 into the atmosphere here, I want to be able to get some atmospheric readings in science and stuff, you know. Let's try 44. It's not, this is not what we agreed to. This is not what we, this is not what I was going to do. And then, you know what? Like, the way we're lined up and everything, if we can get captured from here, we could just wait it out. And going around and around like this, we could probably get an encounter with Ike anyway. But we're not going to be able to slow ourselves down enough to get capture unless we do this. So I feel like we have to do this. So if I go to my engines really quick, and let's thrust limit this to like 1%, just to make sure we don't overshoot this. Where the heck is it go? Right over here. We go to focus, Duna. Let this be a lesson to all you players. Always check where your orbit's going to be well in advance of you arriving at your destination, because the game will frickin' change it on you, apparently. This is a problem I had with regular KSP a while back too, but... Alright, so we're looking for 4 meters per second change, which we're only using 1% thrust. That's why it's going so slowly. And I am okay with this. I got all the time in the world, man. I ain't doing this whole, like, whoops, I went too far, let me change it thing. Although I will admit this is a tad bit slow. Probably could have gotten away with maybe 5% engine power. This isn't like the Iron Man thing where you go 10% power and just fling yourself into the wall, right? That's not what this is. If I can hit this, I think I'll feel happy here. And even honestly, even if we get to like just barely in it, it's enough to get science from the atmosphere. The regular atmospheric readings, though, that experiment, it takes time to run those experiments. So I'm kind of feeling like maybe there wouldn't be enough time in that situation anyway. Slow this down. And tell you what we can do now is we can kill the maneuver and just monitor this instead. So that's 31. And why don't we stop this at like 43? All right, we're going to go in at 43. It's just tagging up the atmosphere. I don't want to burn up. And then I'm pretty confident that we have the fuel necessary. It won't let me create a maneuver here. It's so stupid. This system sucks. Please change this, devs. Come on. I can't make a maneuver in the sphere of influence of this body until I get there. It's so dumb. I want to be able to plan 3, 4, 5 moves ahead, and you're just not letting me. Probably because you're going to move. It's probably because it's not going to stay consistent. It's going to change, right? Like, and you're just like, let's not bother letting them do that because it's just not going to be accurate anyway. All right, so that's what we got. Let's do this without reloading or without shutting the game off or whatever it was that caused that to change from before. Hello, default name 12. I have to figure out why you keep running out of power. It's probably one of those probes that I dropped down on the surface of the moon. I bet that's what it is. Okay, so we are now I want to go just barely in so I have time to correct. We are in. All right. Welcome to Duna. Duna, High Orbit Highlands. We can run all the signs we want now, huh? It's not blinking at me, which is a little odd. Maybe because I'm just barely outside still. Here, let's bring it in. Bring it in just a little bit more. I mean, you are firmly in there now, okay? So, there we go. Okay, so I want to focus on Duna. Let's see where it actually is now. It's at 43. And is it going to stay at 43.6? Is it going to stay? I don't know. I don't know. Let's face retrograde here. And you know what? Bob has been talking nonstop about how he wants to be the first Kerbal to be in space above Duna. And he is so distrusting of Danwig. Which, I mean, the redheaded. He's the redhead. Sorry, redheads. He's so distrusting of Danwig that he is going to jump out right now. And he's going to say, hey, what's up, everybody? I'm the first Kerbal in space above Duna. And our periapsis moved again. It did 43.78 or 761 now. That's a change. So that's a little weird. I don't know why it's doing that. It's very, very strange. I'll do the crew observation while we're out here. I guess we'll just let go of the ladder. Yep, we don't have the ladder. And honestly, it probably isn't any different, right? Because looking out of a window in this pod, and you can see it didn't give us anything. Looking out the window in the pod is pretty much the same thing as looking out the window of your helmet. All right, I think that's what they're going for here. I mean, I don't want to say that the devs dumbed down the science system, because I feel like that's not the right way of saying it. But I feel like, let's, before we time warp, let's make sure we can actually do this. So we have 422 meters per second remaining. That's changed too. Weird. All right, something's up here. I thought we had 426. Oh, wait, we spent the 4 to change it. Okay, never mind. Yeah. All these things that we're doing then are part of the plan. Create a maneuver node. And now I can do this. Do I have... Holy crap, I have to... No. For real? I mean, that's... You're lying to me, right? You're telling me I gotta burn for over a minute? And I'm still not captured? What are you doing? This isn't right. What is this? Create maneuver... Oh, you know what it is? Hang on, I know what it is. It's this. I didn't change this back. There we go. Now it'll show me the inaccurate burn time. It was like, you have to burn for well over a minute. Why? That's why. All right, let's try this again, game. Maneuver plan. It's cool that it takes your thrust percentage into account, though. That's pretty nice. Okay, so over an hour is what it was going to say. Oh, we had burn for over an hour. Now we have to burn for just over a minute. That makes way more sense. And 422 gets us this, which is not captured. So there's light at the end of the tunnel here because we're barely dipping into the atmosphere. It means that we will get at least a little bit of assistance, maybe 1 delta V worth of assistance, right? Would be nice because we need 423 to get captured somehow. And then, as was always the plan, this stage will be deorbited in Duna, and then we're left with just this craft. And this craft here has like, what, like 2,700, 2,800 meters per second, something like that. 2746, yeah. So this stage will be able to adjust itself, maneuver around for Duna and everything. Let's go, let's say we want to go here, please. Zoom in here. So we're going to get captured. It's just about... And then since the periapse will still be in the atmosphere, it means that when we decouple this stage, it does end up getting deorbited. It's going to end up burning up in Duna, which is good. And then we will up here we can adjust it with the new stage. We can just like 1 delta V just to kick this thing at 50. And then at this point, we're going to have to try to figure out, because everything's changing now, we're going to have to figure out how we're going to get inclined for here and land there, which I'm pretty sure we can do. But now there's also another variable at play, which is maybe, I wasn't looking at it before, but maybe we can get Ike to help us out with that. We can get in range of Ike. Might be able to use Ike's gravity to influence our inclination and get a free-ish, because we have to, you know, pay to get to Ike. But we might be able to use Ike to adjust our inclination for cheaper while also getting more science. So I like that possibility. I'm open to that possibility. And we're going to take a look at it from here. We have a part that is still highlighting, and I'm not sure why. Okay, well, that part's going to highlight for a bit. It's also affecting how much I can move my camera. I can't move my camera all the way around my craft. Okay, then. That's interesting. Yep, nothing I can do there. All right, fair enough. Well, shall we go down to the surface? I think it's time, right? I mean, no time like now. So, warp to there. There's our red planet. Gonna get right down here now. We've run all the science we can run so far in high orbit. I don't know exactly where low orbit is with Duna. But I'm pretty sure we've ran all the experiments we can run in high orbit. We have 80 and 144. Yeah, high orbit must be returned to KSC. All these things. Yeah, we don't have any connection. We don't have the ability to transmit the science. We have to bring it back. Which is fine, because Bob and Danwig are coming back with us, so it's okay. We have more than enough electric charge. I'm going to go ahead and bring these solar panels in so they don't get damaged. We are capping the atmosphere at 43,000. We're going to go 43 down. Here, let's just get a quick save here really quick. We don't know what the Kraken will do to us. There's really no reason why anything should burn up at 43k at Duna. I mean, maybe we get a little bit of heat effects because we are going fast, but we shouldn't burn up. It just shouldn't happen. We're going slow enough, I think, to where we should be fine. Especially with the engine pointed forward, you know. With the engine at the front. Heat should be relatively mild for these engines, I would assume, for the engine nozzles, but I don't know. Maybe not. So where is this still high? High orbit Midlands. We're still high above. Oh, there's the low orbit. Okay. So 70k is low. There's only 20,000 meters between atmosphere and high orbit. That's interesting. Well, we got all the things. So it looks like we've got a total of 560 science on board this vessel right now, which is pretty cool. And we can start running the atmospheric data here when we get into the atmosphere, which is pretty much now. Let's make sure that we are pointed relative to surface. I don't think it's really going to matter with this. And then we also, of course, want to ignite. We want to slow down too, so we'll see how this goes. We're now in the atmosphere, so we're going to run that. It looks like it's biome specific, so probably won't finish because we're going to be moving through biomes here as we go. Run the rest of the science. Now we got a lot more. Okay, here we go. 43, 46, I mean. Yep. 45. And we're going to want to burn here pretty quickly, just as long as we don't lower our periapse. We don't want to wait until we, start getting closer to periapsis here, I think. 40, 43. There we go. I think right about now would be fine. Go ahead and ignite it here. Yeah, this is good. 4 seconds away. Let's go ahead and hit that. That's going to it's going to slow us down. Very important to slow down. And we are now climbing again and slowing down at the same time. Very good. And we just want to get captured. Once we're captured, we can stop burning. So we'll see how much that atmosphere really helps us out there. So far, it doesn't look like it's... doesn't look like it's helping enough. Come on! Help me more! I demand more help! Do surface retrograde, please? No, I just want to look at the horizon, but it's fine. Come on, get over there, you pig. We need capture. Almost. Down to our last 100 meters per second here. Oh boy, we are now out of the atmosphere. It's all engines. Come on, get there. Ah, come on. Yeah, let's do it. And we got it. Oh, beautiful. I got a little extra than I thought. Okay, so the atmosphere helped us. Atmosphere helped us quite a bit there. At least a little more than I thought it would. Very nice. Okay, we can point prograde. Now, periaps is still in the atmosphere, right? So this part, especially when we eject it, retrograde ejection here, right? Just so we don't, you know, I mean, it's not going to matter because we're at the periaps, so we're not going to be able to affect it. But if we eject this now, pop, we can now get this stage. And this is our final stage, all right? This is our final form. This craft here stays intact until we get back to Kerbin, okay? At least hopefully it does. And this gets deorbited. Okay, so the next step is we want to, with this ridiculous apoapsis that we have, barely captured apoapsis that we have, we're going to go up to that apoapsis. We're going to create a maneuver. And just so doing that, just by creating the maneuver node, what? Are we actually getting, are we getting Ike? Are we already getting it? I create the maneuver node, it's already giving me Ike? Why are you not showing me that earlier? I'm so confused. Why are you giving me Ike now? It looks like we're going to get it just by creating the node. If I don't create it, it doesn't show me that. Oh, now I got to wonder. Is our space junk going to get Ike? Which might end up flinging it out and having it be space junk instead of deorbiting. Oh, no. Let's, well, hang on. Before we do that, just so we don't run out of electric charge, bring our solar panels back up. Let's head up here really quick, just to create a little bit of separation. I'm worried we're actually going to get an Ike encounter now, which is okay. We are. Yep, it's going to give us an Ike encounter. That's weird. That's so weird. So wait, what's happening with the junk though? Is the junk's going to get it too, right? And it's going to fling it out into space. It's going to end up being solar space junk. Oh my God. That's weird. Okay. Well, what we wanted to do, right, is use Ike to influence our inclination. That's what we wanted to do. And what I'm thinking I need to do, I'm thinking I got to do a couple of things here. So we're going to get up to about here. Now, I'm already far enough away from the space junk to where I can't do anything about that. I was thinking about maybe like putting my nose up against it and just pushing it a little bit backwards from here to make sure it deorbits, but that's not going to happen. So if I wanted to make sure it deorbited, well, I did everything I could do because I didn't know about the Ike encounter ahead of time. So, all right. Well, things are changing again. So we're just going to create the maneuver plan from here. And what we want to do, I think, is focus on Ike. And I want to see how we might be able to influence this so that it works for us instead of against us. So we want to come in. Let's see. If I go prograde from here, it takes us further away from Ike. I want to go retrograde then from here, which brings us in, yeah, like that. So we want to get just a little bit of Ike here, because without Ike, I crash. So if I get just a little bit of Ike, just a touch of Ike, it brings me out like this. But now I'm getting flung into space. This is no good. This is really no good. So wait a minute. So what you're telling me is my plan My initial plan of going way out here and then just giving a little bit of a nudge prograde, I can't do that anymore because a nudge prograde sends me out into space. None of this mission is not going well, and I don't think it's entirely my fault. Orbits changing mid-flight. Ike showing up when he's not wanted. So if I go a little bit further, pop. Now I get capture and at a reasonable altitude, and we avoid Ike. But the space junk is absolutely going to solar orbit. And there's nothing I can do about that. Oh, man. I got the Ike encounter I wanted. I just didn't get it when I wanted it. So how do we... Maybe I go something like this. Maybe just barely Ike. Get a little bit of science. But still have, close enough to Duna to where I can still circularize. Because this is still flinging us out. But if I get just a little bit of Duna here, maybe actually go up. Ooh, that'd be good. This is what we want to do, right? Influence our inclination. Maybe that's the play. We can influence the inclination first, way out here. Yeah, I like this. Like that. This gives us a little bit of Ike for 8 meters per second. Adjusts the inclination. Doesn't quite do it enough to get the point, but we get just barely into Ike here. Interesting. Now I gotta wonder if there's a better way to do this. Hold on. Right about there. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Woo! Finally happened. Okay, so if we can adjust this orbit a little bit here, we can bring ourselves really close to Ike at just 18,000, 16,000, whatever that is. It's too small text. Meters away from Ike. This gives us high above Ike and low orbit for Ike for science. Then, because we're really close, it's going to fling us up, slow us down because we're going on the right side of Ike, so it's going to slow us down, and that ends up with an orbit like this around Duna, that yellow line. Not only does that adjust our inclination beautifully for this objective, but it also slows us down, so we end up getting closer and more manageable for Duna for cheap. And in fact, so cheap, it's only going to cost me 1 meter per second of delta V to do this. Just 1. So that's what I want right there. It took a little bit of finicking, but you can do it. All right. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to have to take the thrust limiter down to 1% on all of these engines, and they are synchronized. Very nice. Okay. So 1 meter per second on all of these engines. Burned at exactly the right time. And we will not only get Ike this time, but we're also going to use Ike and be very, very cheap. Because you know how much... I mean, it would take me probably another 100, maybe 150 meters per second from that periapse point to... and we'd also have to raise it up for over here. So I have to burn like a couple here and then burn like another 150 or so to bring that in. But I don't have to do that anymore because I can use Ike's gravity to slow me down a little bit. And then that's just beautiful. Everything's going to be so good right there. Okay, so we're facing the maneuver node now. We're going to go ahead and get right up where we want to be. It says 16 minutes. I kind of would have wanted it to be just a wee bit closer than that. There we go. And of course, we got to keep an eye on that because who knows? It might change. You never know, man. It could. All right, 30 seconds to burn. Getting very, 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 very slow. And we want to keep an eye on Ike. Where's Ike? Right here. Focus Ike. All right, here we go. And honestly, we could probably just start this anytime. And we have 1% thrust. 1% thrust. So let's bring this down. We're going to hit go. Go, please. There we go. And then 1% on all engines. I hadn't staged the engines yet. Oh, me. Bring this around. And almost 1 frickin' meter per second, man. Done. And that gives us 16,000 above the surface of Ike. That's beautiful. There's a mountain right there. So, hey, I think we're going to go over top that crater. I don't think it's 16,000 high, but I mean, I could be wrong. Some of these things jut out quite a bit. Look at the size of that thing, right? It's definitely poking its head up there, but I think 16K is enough to avoid collisions. So that gets us there. And then after that, we end up in this orbit now. Crazy. So that's even more extreme than I thought, but it's like it's right on. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Boom. There's our target. It's perfect. I don't know, man. Sometimes the game disappoints me, and sometimes I just find a way to make it work, all right? So let's continue. I'll zoom our time ahead here. In fact, so I don't overshoot it, why don't we just say we zoom to, I guess, at this point here. All the way here, okay? And of course, our scrap here is going to get flung around. So that's going to be fun to see. Time warp to there. And we'll go to here. There's Ike. Hi, buddy. How are you? A little quick save action here. And we want to just go a little bit more. Run all the science we can with this. And we won't need to burn anything. We don't need to do anything with Ike. We're just simply using it for free to maneuver. So when we're all done without doing anything, we should have an orbit around Duna that looks like this. Which is very cool. Very, very cool. All right, and we are in. Boom. All right, then. Lovely. Meanwhile, our scrap. Oh, it looks like our scrap isn't going to get captured by Ike after all. I don't understand, man. I mean, I thought for sure you were. That's the whole, you know? I mean, eventually you will, right? I mean, you're crossing through Ike's, plane here. So eventually you're going to get picked up by Ike and either crash into it or get flung around. I don't think this ends up being space junk around Duna for very much longer. I don't think so anyway. All right, so we just got science. Samples high orbit around Ike. Getting all the extra science we can. It's very good. And we can speed up a little bit here. I want to get real nice and close here. There we go. Get right down in there. Boom. All right, let's let the textures load because they haven't decided they want to be high resolution yet. Might take a little bit. Let's get these things to pop in. There we go. Let's point retrograde. Just so that our Kerbals can have a good view out the window here. There you go. Give them a cool view out the window. All right, let's run the science. We're now low orbit, and some of these are different biomes, so I'm wondering if we have to... we are over specific biomes. Yeah. Can we just keep doing... We keep doing, like, crew observations and stuff, or is that already done? Low orbit Ike. I guess that's not biome specific. I think the only test I had that's biome specific is the atmospheric one. I'm pretty sure anyway. So even though it says different biomes here, it's not going to matter. Lava fields, and of course surface samples and stuff are biome specific too, but we're not going onto the surface. There's that crater. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. 17, 16. We're getting low. Hi, Ike. Let's get the UI out of the way. It's quite challenging to land on Ike. It's not Tylo. But Ike has deceptively strong gravity. It's not like the moon, if I remember correctly. But Tylo is even harder. That's around Joule. We'll eventually see Tylo. Tylo's almost not worth the effort. I would say that. I'd say Tylo is almost not worth the effort. You gotta look at it and go, you know what? I really want to go to Tylo. And if that's the case, then yeah, it's worth the effort. But Oh my gosh, look how tall that is. Yeah, if our periapse was down here, we'd be going like right over the surface. The music though. We gotta go back to Ike just for the music. Oh, for sure. We're definitely going back to Ike at some point. We're gonna land on Ike at some point just for the music. That's really cool. All right. Say bye-bye to Ike. And when we get out of this, we will now have a brand new orbit around Duna. Oh, look at that. It's glorious, isn't it? Come on. That's cool. Our new periapse is 226,000 meters. So we do need to bring that in closer. But we used no fuel to do it. 1 meter per second of delta V to do it, which is fantastic. And the inclination is perfect for what we really need. So the next task we're going to need to do here is we're going to need to bring in our periapse a little bit. We need to bring the periapse in so it's just above the atmosphere. So, and then we need to bring the apoapse in immediately because we're probably going to get Ike again. So we don't want to get Ike again. We definitely don't want to encounter that again. So let's go ahead and say from this point, we want to go retrograde. That brings that periapsis in. That's now 78, 76. That's fine. About 51. Right above the atmosphere is fine with me. Okay. So that's our next task right there. 26 meters per second. Let's make sure that we have our thrust limiter removed here so everything's on 100% again. Okay. And we actually probably want to reset this. I don't know if I trust it because it was calculating originally on that thrust being different. So let's bring that in even more. And I know that, again, I know the numbers are really small. I do wish we could do something about that. The UI scaling features in the menu do not change this text. It only affects this stuff. It doesn't change the text displayed on the interface in here in the map and stuff. That's something I hope that they change in the future. All right, we will point towards where we need to go. Let's zoom ahead to our menu there. And with 40 seconds remaining, we can look at it. 25 meters per second is all we have to spend to get that in. Again, it's way cheaper than if we had done this ourselves without using Ike. So I'm over the moon, if you will, pun intended. I am over the moon about the opportunity to explore next to Ike, and he's our unexpected friend right there. That's great. All right, we're 10 seconds away. It's only 25 meters per second. I think we can probably just do it here. It's fine. So let's bring this in, and we'll just make sure we're ready to stop where we need to. I'm looking at just over 50. Done. That is just over 50. That's about as just over 50 as you can get. I think maybe we could go just a hair higher than that. I don't want to like accidentally put us in the atmosphere at some point. So let's just kind of, especially with everything moving around on us. So 5125 is where we're going to end up being here instead. All right. And then at periapse, this is the part where we get ourselves to be away from Ike so that it can't influence us anymore. We bring this in, and that's going to be the most expensive burn we do besides the landing. And that'll get us to be about here. We're going to circularize-ish. Now our periapsis is too low. So I think where we are right now, we need to raise it up just a hair. Let's go to 53. Yeah, 53 is probably better here. And then that way, I probably should redo this now. Because I raised that. I changed that point. So let's go ahead and retrograde. Bring the apoapsis in. And we get almost... We're close enough to circularize there. Maybe a little bit more. There. That's better. That gets our periapsis to be at 51. All right. Seems good. That's where we'll go. So let's point towards that one. It's going to take us about 300 meters per second. And then we will have a very good, nice close orbit around Duna at that point. And let's go ahead and do that. Zoom us right in there. There we go. Just slam us right in there, man. You can go just a little bit further, I suppose. Closer to this maneuver. There we go. 30 seconds away. All right. This is what we need. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? We're going to land on Duna. I think that's going to be next episode. We spent a little bit of time on this. I didn't really plan on showing a whole lot for the circularization and maneuvers and stuff, but because of what happened, it took like an extra 10-15 minutes from the plan to get that done. So we'll go ahead and burn this. And all I'm doing here is keeping an eye on the AP number down here. I don't really care about what the map says. These numbers are what matter. And we're just going to get this, you know, to be roughly the same as what this PE is. That's all that matters. All right. There we go. Getting very close. And let's dial it. We don't need to dial it back quite yet. There we go. Dial it back here. And stop. We don't want that number to get too low. So we're going to wait on that because that number is getting too low now. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty successful bit right there, right? And we're low enough, like really close to the atmosphere, but it's enough to where we can still time accelerate it at max speed, which is pretty good. And we have a good inclination. We can wait for our opportunist moment here for us to be able to land there. We're going around that direction, so we're going to be coming in from the top when we hit this. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. As this rotates, it's going to rotate this way, right? Isn't that what Duna does? Duna rotates this way, doesn't it? It's standard. It's the same way as Kerbin does. So I'm pretty sure it's going to rotate this way. So this mark is coming around here. Yeah? Yeah, I think so. All right, so next video, we're going down to the surface. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. I'm going to leave you with this epic music because I love it. They did a great job on the soundtrack. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.